Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing well today, and in this video I am going to be cooking some chicken leg quarters with some potatoes and green beans, and I'm going to show you how to make a flavorful and cheap meal. The other ingredients that I'll be using for the green beans are onions and a clove of garlic, and I also will be using some olive oil, and I have my pan that I will be baking my chicken in and a cutting board. So the first thing that I'll be doing is cleaning off the potatoes and cutting them up, and then we will be setting them aside, and eventually they will be going into the same pan as the chicken. So before I cut them up, I always like to dry them off, and I am just cutting them into a simple cube, kind of almost French fry shape. I wanted them somewhat smaller, but not too small, just so that I knew that they would cook all the way through. I make sure to put some foil on the pan, and I will make sure to oil that up. You don't necessarily have to do the foil, but I just prefer to. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up the chicken and put the pieces onto the pan and just have them positioned in a way where they're all face flat onto the pan. And then eventually, after I finish with this, I'm going to be putting the potatoes in between and sort of kind of wherever, because then after all that I'm going to be putting some seasonings on, and they're all going to get mixed up in there anyway. The first thing that I will do is spray some oil onto the chicken and just all over the potatoes, and I'm going to be putting some it's a mozzarella chicken seasoning. I'm going to be putting that on everywhere. It's essentially like onion powder, celery powder, paprika, and just like kind of simple things like that. And then I'll be putting on some pepper and salt, and I do add a couple more seasonings as well. Everything is very optional. You could literally just add salt and pepper and maybe have it, the way that you want it flavored wise. And here I'll be adding some garlic powder and then some parsley. And I'm going to be mixing it up here in a sec, and before I I did start mixing. I wanted to put some oil, a little bit more oil on, just to make sure that I would be able to rub it all on. And I make sure to flip over the chicken, get it all over, make sure that you get it on the potatoes as well. And if you feel like you need more seasoning, you can put some on. And as you can see, I'm going to be putting on some more paprika, because that was a little bit in the other chicken seasoning mix. And paprika is always just nice for color. And I'm going to be putting the oven on 375. And while that is baking, I'm going to be getting the pan ready for the green beans. And I want to have these flavorful, and so we're going to be adding a garlic clove, and I just make sure to chop this up as finely as I can. And we're eventually going to be getting that, and then the onion onto the pan. I'm not going to do a full onion. I already have some chopped up, so I'm just going to be taking that and put it in onto the pan. In the pan, I'm going to be placing some butter, and then I will place in the garlic and the onion. I make sure that the butter is all melted, and then I'm going to be placing them in. And then once I have everything in the pan, I'm going to be mixing that up a little and letting it sit so that it can get cooked down. And as that was happening, the chicken was ready to be put in, and so I'm going to be letting that cook in there for about 50 minutes, yes. And so I go back and am just checking on the garlic and onion and just making sure that the garlic isn't too overcooked. I do like it a little bit brown and just to add some flavor. And then with the green beans, I'm going to go ahead and get the water out of the can and then just put that onto the skillet. I will say, in the future, me, when I had ate this, it was very, very good. And it's actually something that I want to be making more often, because usually when we have canned food or greens like that, we just heat it up, and call it a day. But I really like adding these extra seasonings and flavor. And yeah, so the other thing I added was some salt and pepper. And as you're going to see here in a sec, I do add other flavors to it because I really do like a heat kind of flavor. And so I added some more butter. I'm adding some lemon juice. I even added some red pepper flakes. I really liked it when it was a little bit spicy. And then here in a sec, I will be adding some soy sauce, just like a little splash of it. And it was just like really good. It was very flavorful. It wasn't too much. It was just exactly where it needed to be. And yeah, all that is very optional. I'm just really in love with different flavors, especially just like a tiny bit of heat like that. And so while everything is cooking, I decided I'm just going to be doing a couple of dishes. It is not even really much at all, but I thought, hey, why not record myself doing it? Recently, I have been just hand washing the dishes because we do have a dishwasher and I will use it at times, but I don't know. Recently, I just got sick of using it and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start washing the dishes by hand, and I just prefer it a lot more because I can just get the dishes in and out of the sink really quick. And yeah, I don't know, I just prefer it that way, and I'm really happy that I've been keeping up with it. I thought that I would share that. And so with the green beans, they are essentially done. I'm just letting them on a very low temperature at the moment, just so as I wait for the chicken to be ready. And then over here, I'm just cleaning off one of the skillets that I had washed. And I absolutely love using skillets to cook with. It is just amazing. And in the future, I really want to get one of those cast iron, uh, almost like, I guess you could say, kettle kind of bowl skillets where it has a lid on top. And I've seen them before, like in antique stores and stuff, but they usually want a good amount of money for them. So that will definitely be a good investment in the future. And so I checked the chicken right here, and I used the thermometer to check the temperature inside, and I noticed that it is not fully done. So I do put them in there for, I think, about another like 10 minutes. And then I think it was after that time they were done, and they were very flavorful. I really enjoyed having the potatoes in the pan with the chicken because you kind of just throw everything in there and forget about it. And I actually really like the flavor of the potatoes because it was sitting a little bit in that chicken juice that had came out of it, of the chicken when it was being baked, and it was just so good. I can't even lie. And it's funny because this is just this is just such a simple meal to make that it just also was very flavorful as well. And so everything is done, and I chow down right afterwards, and it was very delightful to make and very delicious. And I hope this has been inspiring for you and for when you go and cook maybe a more simple, cheaper meal. And so I will go and enjoy this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great one, and bye-bye.